Welcome to the Hyper Growth Zone podcast. This is your go-to resource for personal growth, mastering communication, and influencing and persuasion techniques that will help you unleash the full potential of yourself and others. Here is your host, Alex Morgan.
Welcome back. This is episode 12 of the Hyper Growth Zone podcast. My name is Alex Morgan, and I'm a master trainer of hypnosis and NLP. And today, we're going to discuss something very important, and that is goals. And the reason we really want to discuss this today, because there's a wrong way to do things, and there's a right way to do things. And this is especially important when it comes to goals. So most of the time during this podcast, I'm going to discuss the right way to do things. I am going to bring to your awareness some of the things that you don't want to do and why people don't achieve goals. However, most of the time when I tell you something that has to do with not the correct way, right after it, I'm going to tell you the right way to do something. So bring this thinking into this podcast that you're going to be learning the right way to do things when it comes to achieving your goals. And if you can achieve your goals, then you'll essentially have the success that you want. So a good way to start out is to think about why people don't achieve goals. Because I'm guessing there's probably at some point in your life where you didn't achieve a goal that you wanted. Myself included. There's been plenty of times where I didn't achieve a goal. So I think there's 3 really good reasons why people actually don't get what they want. And one of those is they're not specific enough. So what does this mean? This means that when someone's setting a goal, they may just say something like, I want to be happy. I want to feel confident, or I want to make more money. However, how would you actually know when you achieve that goal? If you're not specific, then you would have no idea. Do you need to make $120,000 to make more money? Is that revenue? Is that profit? And what time frame are you going to make it? So you need to be able to measure it in some way. And the emotions, I want to be happy, I want to be confident. Well, in fact, your goal should never be happy or confident because it's not specific. And you could actually feel that right now. And I talk about that in other episodes. So if you want to be happy or you want to be confident right now, think of a time in the past when you were happy or when you were confident and drop down into your body, see what you see, hear what you hear, and really feel the feelings of whatever you want to feel, and you could actually be that right now. So there's no sense in that being a goal. So make sure that your goal is specific. The wrong way, not have it be specific at all. The right way to do things is have your goal be specific, and we'll get into this much more later in this episode. The other thing that holds people back from actually achieving their goals is people actually feel like they don't deserve it. So if you feel like you don't deserve it, how do you think you're going to actually have goals that can be achieved? And this is also another reason why many people that do affirmations, they don't actually achieve what they say in the affirmation, because as they're saying it, deep down, maybe they don't know deep down. However, there's something unconscious, something unresolved, where they have this feeling like they're not deserving to achieve what they're saying. So if you have a goal and you actually want to deserve it, then you need to do some work. You need to release this limiting belief so you actually feel like you do deserve it. And you also need to focus on what you actually want. So the thing that's holding you back, I don't deserve it. The right thing to do is get rid of this limiting belief or maybe it's just a part of you that feels this some of the time, or it could be a full-time conflict. So get rid of this so you can actually feel like you do deserve it. And the other reason people don't achieve goals is they don't have a clear picture in their mind of what they actually want. So this kind of goes with the first one. If we're not specific, then how can you create a really clear picture of what you want? How will you know when you have it? Will there be other people there? Is this your goal? Make sure it's your goal if you really want to achieve it. That's the right thing to do. Think about what this will get for you, what this will allow you to do. Bring in a nice picture, some sounds, some feelings, some self-talk. This is how you'll actually get what you want and how you can have a clear picture in your mind. The right thing to do is to have a clear picture in your mind. And you want to be going towards your goal. This picture, you don't want to have negative things inside of it. You want it to be the most positive representation so it can be compelling for you, so you actually can gain momentum to go after this goal. You want the picture to be motivating. So when you think of it, you actually want the goal. So those are 3 things why people don't often achieve what they want. So they're not specific enough in what they want. They don't have enough data. And we'll talk about that later. They don't deserve it, or they have some sort of belief that they're not good enough, something like this, and they don't have a clear picture. So the right thing to do is to be specific, to get rid of the limiting belief that's holding you back. And the third one, you want to have a clear picture in your mind. This helps you focus on what you want. Once you have a clear picture in your mind and you take action, then you can actually get what you want. Now, the next thing that we need to talk about is, are you actually going away from what you want? Or are you actually going towards what you want? And I've touched on this a little bit in another episode. And the thing is most people, when they're achieving a goal or going after a goal, there's a certain percentage of them that's actually going towards what they want. So let's say someone wants to buy a car. Are they fully thinking about actually buying the car and doing things with the car? Or is there a percentage of them that is actually holding them back? Are they thinking about something bad happening? Or is there a negative emotion that's holding them back? Or do they have some sort of fear about something, some sort of fear of success, of actually getting what they want? So if you have these things that you're actually going away from, you need to think about if it's actually doing something for you, because chances are it isn't. Because we get what we focus on. And we also say it the way you want it, or think about it the way you want it. So if you're thinking about your goal and you're actually going away from things, let's say you have a goal about money and you're going away from poverty or being broke, eventually that's only going to give you so much motivation. It's going to get you part of the way, and then you'll start thinking about money. However, there's going to be a conflict there within you. That's the thing with away from and towards. It creates an inner conflict. So eventually you'll think about the bad thing, the negative emotion, the poverty, whatever it is. And eventually you'll get that. Me, for example, I used to think about money. However, I was always adding it, like in my mind, oh, in this month I'm going to have this, and then in 6 months I'm going to have this much. However, there was a part of me that didn't really believe it. And eventually, in 2017, I went bankrupt. So I had some away froms in there. I had some fear or something unresolved unconsciously that made me lose everything that I had. So in order to gain what you want, you need to be consciously aware of if there's anything that you're focusing on that's not actually your goal. Because in away from, it simply means that there's some sort of emotion that's holding you back, or there's some part of you holding you back. So actually with hypnosis and with NLP, there's a few easy techniques where we can figure this out. So if you do have a goal and you're not achieving it, and you keep running into challenges and you don't know how to get over them, then reach out. Send me an email, alex@athensnlp.com, or go ahead and find me on Instagram at alexmorganhypnosis, and let's chat about it. So make sure that you're consciously aware of if there's an away from that's holding you back, because it's most important to be going towards your goal as much as possible. Now, when you're going towards your goal as much as possible, I sometimes run into this. We're so optimistic about our goal that sometimes we underestimate little setbacks or challenges, or we don't see any negative that's in the way. So make sure that if you're totally towards your goal, that's awesome. Just know that there can be challenges. There can be setbacks. There are going to be things that happen where we have to self-reflect or reevaluate our goal. So just be mindful of that as well. Now we want to move on and we want to talk about some beliefs that we should have when we're actually going after our goals. Because if we don't have belief in ourselves and we think something like we're not good enough, or we don't deserve it, or we can't make that kind of money, then guess what? That's actually going to hold us back from getting what we want. So if we do have a belief in ourselves and we combine that with being specific and having a clear picture in our mind, then really nothing should stop us from achieving what we want. So one of the beliefs that you need to have is you deserve it, or you deserve it all and more. If you have this belief, and think of it like this, every single day when you wake up, you know the sun's going to come up, right? So when you think of that, do you have a picture? It's probably bright. It's probably vibrant. It's probably in the perfect spot on your mental screen. So you can almost imagine the belief of you deserving it, or you deserving it all and more with these same qualities. Because if you think something is 100% of the time going to happen, like the sun is going to come up, even if you wake up and it's a rainy day or a cloudy day, you still know the sun's going to come up. You still believe this. Or like a green light means go. So if you can create those same qualities in that picture and put it into the belief that you deserve it, guess what? That picture is going to be so compelling. It's going to create so much momentum for you. And no matter what, you're going to believe it. Now, you need to have this belief. If you want to achieve your goals, you definitely need to deserve it. You also want to feel, of course, that you're good enough, or you're more than good enough. And it's okay if you don't have all of these beliefs right now, because the thing with beliefs is most of them, we were born limitless. When we were first born, we were limitless. We didn't have anything holding us back. And over time, so from ages 0 to 7, we soaked up everything like a sponge. We were a little unconscious mind walking around, and we picked up different limiting beliefs from people, our family, whoever it was. We heard people talking. Maybe we were watching TV as a small child and we heard our parents in the kitchen near the TV, and they were having a conversation about how they didn't have enough money to pay bills. So this could have given us the belief that I don't deserve to make enough money, or I can't make enough money. So that's okay. Everyone picks up limitations along the way because we soaked up everything like a sponge. When you're from 0 to 7, your brain waves are in a state where you're very suggestible. You're like a walking unconscious mind. So you picked up all these suggestions. So if you don't have all the beliefs that you need right now to achieve your goals, if you feel that way, that's totally normal. It's totally fine. However, now you have the opportunity to believe things like you deserve it all and more. You're more than good enough. You can make however much money you want to get what you want. You can actually be limitless. Again, that's what you want to focus on. That's what you want to do. So have these beliefs. These are 3 easy beliefs that you can have. I'm sure you could think of some others that are more specific to your goal. However, I like these beliefs because they're at a high level. It's like a big picture. We don't need to be so specific in a belief. So these are high level. I deserve it. I'm good enough. I can make enough money, or more than enough money. These are high level, so they can really encompass any of the other small beliefs that you have. So make sure that if you have beliefs that you want to get rid of, work on those and install these new beliefs in yourself so you're mentally programmed to achieve what you want. Because it's going to be very difficult to get your goals and achieve your goals if you don't have certain beliefs. If you don't believe in your goal, that's the wrong thing to do. The right thing to do is have beliefs that move you towards your goal. So we're going to combine everything now. You don't want to do any of the things that I said that won't get you what you want. Do the right things, plus go towards your goal with the right belief. It's almost going to be impossible to not have success. And that's an easy way to get predictable results and have success be easy for you. Now we want to specifically talk about how to achieve your goals. So when you're creating a goal, what are some things that you want? The first thing is you want to have data. Now, what does this mean? This gives you the opportunity to actually design your goal in your mind. And the thing is if you put effort into creating things in your mind and be very specific and gather lots of data, then your goal is going to be that much more easy to achieve. Everyone, when they think about goals, they want to put all this effort on the outside, on the external, doing all this hard work. They want to hustle. They think they need to grind. No, you don't actually need to do that. Of course, you need to take action. However, you don't need to think of it as hard work. If you put this effort in your mind of gathering data, then you'll know exactly what to do to get your goal, because you'll be able to see your goal, hear your goal, feel it, and even taste and smell it. You'll know exactly what to say to yourself. So what do I mean by data? Let's say that you want to buy a car. Have you researched the car online? Have you felt the steering wheel? Do you know the colors of the car? Do you know the specifications? If you're really into sounds, have you heard the sound of the engine? Have you heard the sound of the speakers? Have you heard the sound when you adjust the seat, the windshield wipers, all these different things? Have you messed around on the website and made different colors of the rims, different stripes, paint stripes? Have you done all of this? Because this makes it more real for you. If you just say, hey, I want to buy this car, and you don't know what color it is, what it looks like, what it sounds like, or what it feels like to sit in the car, to touch the steering wheel, to put on your seatbelt, to press that gas pedal, you're not going to have enough data in your mind, and it's going to be harder to get your goal. So let's say you really want a car. Go test drive it. Try it out. Gather as much data as you can and have good feelings when you're gathering that data, because it'll be very easy to achieve your goal. So you need to make sure that you're gathering data in whatever it is. If you're going on vacation, research the place that you want to go, all the places that you would love to go, how the locals are, the colors, the beaches, the hikes, whatever it is you like doing on a vacation. Research that and get as much data as you can. It'll make that goal that much more real for you. Maybe have an itinerary. Think about little things that you want to do. So then you'll have a really clear picture of your goal. So those are two examples of how to really get data. And with that, you have to create a picture in your mind of your goal that's really compelling for you. So really see what you would see, hear what you would hear, feel what you would feel. What would you say to yourself knowing that you have this car? What's the last thing that you would do so you know you have it? For many people, buying a car, it might be getting the keys from the dealership. It might be driving it off the lot. It might be driving the car home and honking the horn and having their kids run outside and seeing you in the new car. Those are all good. Make that compelling. And there was a colleague of mine, he wanted to buy a specific Jeep. And he said that the last thing, so that he knew he had it, was driving his Jeep with his friends in his favorite place to snowboard and to go to the mountains. So he knew that was the compelling picture for him. After he gathered all the data, he knew that compelling picture, the last thing, so he knew he had it, was having fun with his friends in this Jeep in a place that he really loved the most to do one of his favorite things. That's pretty compelling compared to just getting the keys. I would say it is. So think about a goal that you really want to achieve and think about the last thing that you have to do so you know you have it. And make it something that's really compelling for you. And bring a picture to your mind with compelling sounds. Play with the volume of the sounds. Make the picture a certain brightness, close to you, further away, whatever it needs to be most compelling for you. And then intensify the feelings. Make those really intense so it feels real. That's how you really gather the data. Another way to achieve goals is you need to have a time. When are you going to achieve your goal by, so you know for sure if you achieved it or not? It needs to be measured in some sort of amount of time. So do you want to achieve it by the end of the year, 2024? Maybe it's 2025. Whenever it is, think about time. Time has to be involved. And you need to have a way that you can measure it. So if we're talking about a goal with money, is it profit? Is it revenue? What's the time frame that we have to make it in? So make sure with the time frame, this gives you a way to really measure it. And I think one of the ways to make your goals really achievable, they don't want to be too easy. Make them ambitious enough to push you. And also a way to achieve goals, once you have all the data and everything, be around people that also have what you want and talk to them about it. Find out how they did it. This will show your unconscious mind that it can be successful too. You need to put your mind in these situations so your mind accepts these good ideas from people who are actually achieving. So hang around people that want to achieve goals too. This is a really easy way to achieve goals. Let's say that I want to have a really successful in-person event. Well, I should probably go at some point to an in-person event and see how they do it. And notice the people there. How are they enjoying it? What are they doing? What kind of conversations are they having? I need to immerse myself in the event. I need to be around people that are thinking big. So I have more data. That gathers more data as well when you're around people who have what you want or they're doing what you want. This gives you more data. It makes your goal even more real because you see people doing it and you are actually there. You are watching them do it. What is more real than that? If you can do that, plus hold this picture in your mind, your goal will be that much more easy to achieve. So remember, there's a wrong way to do things and there's a right way to do things. So make sure you follow all the right way to do things in this episode. Be specific. Know that you deserve your goals. Have a clear picture. Move as much as you can towards your goal. If you need to, release any negative emotions or limiting beliefs. If you need help doing that, reach out to me, alex@athensnlp.com, because you want to have beliefs that you can achieve your goal and gather that data and make sure your goal, you can measure it. You know you can achieve it. So that's some important information that you can let just marinate in your mind, because if you let that happen, you'll be ready to take action. In your unconscious mind, the more that it sees things as good and successful, it wants clear orders to follow, so it'll bring you that success in all areas of your life. So that's it for this episode. Thanks so much for listening. If you like the episode, go ahead and give a 5-star review wherever you're listening. And I'll see you for the next episode.